All right. Okay, so we just got disconnected. And yeah, I saw the joint froze. Um all right. Dang. I think what we were doing though is we were just checking in with Anya. We were just meeting her on the street. I'm about to run that back and have this not freeze on me. And so let's do it again. Let's do it again. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Actually, you know what? As a matter of fact, let me just pause for a little bit. If y'all just coming in the room, part one was the intro, and now we got this joint froze, but it's back. But I just want to make sure that we get everything scopus. Okay, all right, twin. I see you in the room. I see you in the room. Okay, cool, 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 cool. I was like, dang, that's never happened before. We've never had a frozen joint. I mean, um, yeah, we never had that happen before. Okay, so we'll have to, you know, make it do what it do. Okay, I think wasn't Tanya in here, twin? Okay, here go other twin. He said, "All right, we back. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening." I mean, how y'all been? You know what I'm saying? Like while we wait for, I'm really just waiting for Felicity to come through and be like, "Yeah, it's cool." Okay, okay. So she's saying, "Yeah, all right, cool." Um, I think I saw Tanya earlier in the chat. She thought she was gonna get away, but she will not. Welcome in. Somebody go get Tanya twin and bring her back. Okay. He said, yes, sir. Okay, okay, okay. I'll say he said, all right, we back. May may it be someone's on this video. Hilarious. God, good evening, Tanya here. All right, Tanya. All right, now we can start. Okay, okay. Now that Tanya's in the room, we can go ahead and start. Okay, folks. So where we were, we're talking about the nature of intention. You know why? Last week we had such a powerful moment, right? We were talking about watching the watcher. Where does the thinker come from? And that got me thinking about what is the nature of intention itself. In phenomenal reality, we kind of take it for granted that we're always intending. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's always we take attention and intention for granted. And I was like, okay, where does this really show up? Where does this really show up? Where, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would I even concern myself with the very question? And the reason is because if I can understand where the source of intention is, then I can understand what the source of willpower is. And so obstacles that stand in the way, I want to be able to transcend them, see through them. But I need to understand self first. I need to understand when my own intention gets constrained and how can I do that if I don't know much about it? And so, Tanya is here. Oh, Devontae's coming through too? Oh, dang. All right. Get him on a call. Get him on a call. All right, y'all got me. See, you know what I'm saying? Now we gotta get to Anya. Anya, the reason she is here is because she is going to show us something that I know is so familiar for y'all, and the twins, everybody in here. Y'all are creators. And so what we want to do is find out what are those processes that disintermediate, that interrupt our natural creative process. Not creative just in the sense of trying to make something with hands, trying to write something. Of course, that's a part of it. That's an expression of what it means to be a creator, but also what stands in the way of joy, what stands in the way of peace, your capacity to reveal or otherwise create joyful situations is also what it means to be a creator, right? So all of this is wrapped up in tonight's conversation. And so that's why we have to get to Anya. I'm hoping this joint don't freeze again. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to just be like, all right, well, what she said was, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather show you, not tell you. You dig what I'm saying? Um, let's get to it. Let's get to it. We're about to run it right back, okay? And do it just like we need to do it. Okay, so twin saying, oh, auto type, I meant it may be someone's breakthrough on this very video. It may be someone's breakthrough on this very video. Yeah, I didn't want to pay attention to the other thing. I thought, it's time to step through our portals as creators, as my wife says, let no one pluck your feathers. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Okay. Okay, let's come back to that. Let's come back to that. Let's get to Anya. We gotta get to Anya because you know what I'm saying? Like, dang, ain't no show without her. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no show without her. Here we go. Oh, she's crossing. Oh, she's crossing the street. Excuse me, ma'am. Hi there.
Hi.
Can I show you how beautiful your mind is?
Sure.
Yeah, so what we're doing is we're shooting a game show. I'm Dr. Shawn, I'm a therapist.
Okay.
And what I'm doing is I have 7 minutes in order to show you the power that is already inside of you, okay? And if I don't serve you within 7 minutes, I pay you cash just for taking your time today.
Okay.
Are you up to play?
I am up to play.
Excellent. Okay, so where should we start? Right here? Excellent. This is good. I'm just setting my bag down.
Okay.
And what's your name?
Anya.
Anya, I'm Shawn.
Nice to meet you.
Dr. Shawn is the name of the channel. I am here with Anya right now. And Anya, in order for this game to work, I need to know one goal that you have right now. It can be big or small, but this goal is just out of reach right now. It's just out of, you're almost close. It's almost there, but it's just out of reach. What's one goal right now that you are hunting down?
I'm writing a script right now.
Yo, she said she's writing a script. We've been talking about screenplays all day. Okay, I'll have to edit around this. Okay, so she's writing a script. Fantastic. So what's standing in the way of writing the script?
Feeling like the time is right. You know?
Can you say more?
Like, every time I go down, or every time I go to sit down and write, I feel like, oh, okay, just after this task, or just after this task.
Okay, so we call that procrastination. Back in the day, we used to call that procrastination. So what, but my thing is this, Anya, what's behind the procrastination, do you think?
Fear of imperfection.
Okay, so you've been a perfectionist?
I have been. Recovering perfectionist.
Okay, excellent. But you know that, okay, so what you're really dealing with is your own thoughts about, is this gonna be good enough, right? And is this the right time? Is it the right time is really like a, you can keep coming. Yeah, it's all good, you're all good. That idea of perfectionist spirit is really, it comes down to fear, right? And so how much time do you spend overthinking?
I'm an overthinker.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay, right. So what we want to do today, we're going to start the countdown clock in about 7 minutes. We'll do that right now. So now that I understand what we're generally working with, what I want you to do is tell me, can you see this bottle?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. What I want you to do is imagine an imaginary hand. Think of it as a Mickey Mouse white glove hand and just see it floating right here.
Okay.
Let me know when you have it. Excellent. You okay? Mosquito. All right. Shoot, I need to give this to you. It's just like a microphone.
Okay.
Just hold it right there. You're good, yeah. Okay, so that imaginary hand is here. I want you to see it pass through the bottle out the other side. Let me know when you've done it.
Done it.
Excellent. And then right on back.
Okay.
Okay, you're quick at this. And again, one more time.
Sure.
And then right back.
Okay.
Fantastic. All right, so at this point, take that same imaginary hand. I want you to put it through your chest. In other words, you're going to see that imaginary hand hovering in front of your chest and push it through your body all the way out the back.
Okay.
Let me know when you've done it.
It's done.
Excellent. Bring it back forward to the front of your chest. Excellent. This time, make it go so fast that you see that imaginary hand moving from front to back, front to back, front to back at 1,000 miles per hour.
Okay.
Go ahead and go.
Okay.
Let me know when you have it.
I have it.
Okay, okay. This is a visionary. Excellent. You're a visual person. Fantastic. So you just told me that you were able to put that imaginary hand through this bottle and through your chest. Is there anything in the world that you can't put that imaginary hand through?
No.
Okay, so that basically means that imaginary hand is like limitless. There's no limit that it's going to meet that you can't overcome, yeah? Okay, so from the perspective of that imaginary hand, that would make reality one big limitless experience, yeah? Or is that wrong? Wouldn't reality be one large, you're the imaginary hand right now, you're just traveling everywhere. You can go through the dog, you can go through the squirrel, you can go through the trees. Reality itself becomes one open
expansive, limitless whole. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
So my question is this. If this imaginary hand is limitless, as you say, and you're its creator, wouldn't that make you limitless too?
Yeah.
And so, she says yes immediately. And
Yeah.
so, the idea here is that what if you were to look at all the times that you sit down and you start thinking, oh wait, there's something else I could be doing. Maybe I should get to this other thing, or I just don't feel ready just yet.
Mm-hmm.
What if you were to look at all those emotions from this limitless self, from this limitless perspective?
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking. Well, how
what
do you
if?
think, yeah, how would life change if you were looking at all of your emotions, particularly the fear,
Mm-hmm.
from this limitless perspective?
Mm-hmm. There would be no impediments to anything that you would want to do.
But what about for you?
There would be no impediments for anything I want to do.
Okay. So which means how would you return to those scripts? To the process of writing a screenplay.
How would I return to the scripts?
From this limitless perspective.
Yeah, there's no wrong way to do it. There's no, nothing can stop you. You just have to do it.
Right.
You can do it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So you have that feeling of being able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I love what you said first, which is nothing would stop you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So perfection, in the limitless, perfection is...
Just another thing.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, so let me ask you this. How would seeing your life and seeing yourself from this limitless perspective, how would it change how you see yourself?
Again, it would mean that nothing can stop me. I can do anything and everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, final question is, anytime you're thinking about writing that script and a little bit of fear creeps up, a little bit of anxiety creeps up, can you remind yourself of this limitless self that you are?
I can imagine the hand passing through the fear onto the keyboard and just writing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. Okay, dude. Okay. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our mind game. That's it. You pass with flying colors.
Oh, thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
And so that I've been telling people all day, look, anytime you're feeling low, just be able to come back to that limitless perspective, because notice that, did we have to go to the store in order to buy that feeling for you?
Mm-mm.
Did mom and your daddy have to come through in order to organize things for you?
Mm-mm.
Right? So where was it all along?
Right in here.
Right. So I say, always be able to bask in that anytime you're feeling low, because you can access it anytime as your true self.
Yeah.
So Anya, thank you so much.
Thank you. It was great.
Us.
Of course. Of course. Thank you.
This is beautiful. But I do want to grab your contact information, because I want you to see it when it comes out.
Okay, cool.
So whatever you feel like.
Okay, that was Anya. Anya, thank you so much for being on the show. Folks, how familiar is that? How familiar is Anya? The reason I always open the show with an example from the street is because I want you to be able to see yourself in the people, in everyday normal people. I want you to be able to see that, oh, wow, I know that experience. I know the experience of avoiding something and hanging on to this perfectionism because I'm afraid of being embarrassed, which is really just a sense of I'm afraid of failing, being laughed at, of not succeeding, of creating a snowball effect where I'm in a perpetual state of ineptitude. So I hide behind that perfectionism. Like I know that for myself. Like I've seen myself do that. But then I think the deeper component to Anya's story has to do with allowing fear to get in the way of action. Allowing fear to get in the way of action. In 2012, I had a meditation laboratory, and I would train with the teacher, which was a Taoist mystic, an old man in the middle of Illinois. And we would do these exercises where we're going so deeply into the recesses of the mind that fear itself starts to actually take on shapes. Like I remember one night sitting and working with the energy, just the basic energies of the body, and working with the oxygen, the breath, the blood supply, the blood flow, the biochemical energy that's circulating through the body. Right, we would train ourselves to get to a place of such sensitivity that we can feel what's happening within the body matrix, and even beyond that, which we would even call the body. And one night, I remember closing my eyes and getting into meditation. It's about 10 o'clock p.m. I'm in a studio apartment because I was in grad school. You know what I'm saying? It's 2012. And I can remember, I remember this dragon coming into the apartment with me. And it was as if I'm in complete darkness. And I can remember this like the hot breath of this dragon. And I know psychologically it's just a psychological tick. It's just something I've went so deep into my own psyche that aberrations, my own fear is representing itself to me as this paraphysical phenomenon. So I'm well aware intellectually that, oh, this is just all in my head. And yet there was this dragon breath breathing down on the back of my neck. And every exhalation of this dragon got hotter and hotter until it started to burn. To like actual feeling of flames and fire. And like, you dig what I'm saying? Like, it was like, ooh. And how far can this hallucination go? At a point, it starts being, okay, this might be a hallucination, but this is hurting though. The pain is real though. You can call it hallucination if you want to, but something is in here with me, and now I'm getting paranoid. Something is telling me stay in the meditation, but I could not. I get the hell up, run to the lights, flip them on, and there's nothing in the room with me. I'm rubbing the back of that neck. I'm looking. The next day, dude, I used to meet the teacher at a church in the church basement, 6 p.m. on Mondays. We would get down into this basement. I'm breaking the game down. So I'm saying, hey, look, this is what happened when I did my meditation the other night. And, this dragon walked in, started breathing on my neck. I knew it was in my head, but you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the real difference between something being in your head and not if it hurts, if it's painful? Yes, my fear had manifested as this dragon, but it was hurting. It was painful. I knew it was just a psychological thing, but I'm sitting here talking to him. I'm like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Has this happened to you? What do you do? Because I can't go back. Now I'm like trying to meditate with the lights on, you know what I'm saying? I need a nightlight. And he was like, okay, so you met a baddie. This is 2012 lingo, and he's an old man, you know what I'm saying? So he didn't mean like an Instagram baddie. He meant like, he was like, you met a baddie, a phantom phenomenon of your own self represented to you as this monster. And they can come in all types of shapes and forms and all different types of deals. He was like, so you met this baddie. He's like, the next time this happens, I want you to invite the baddie in. Simply allow the baddie to remain with you. Let it do what it's going to do to you. Let it devour you. I said, oh, hell no. Oh, no. You got me twisted. He said, listen, it's important for you. You already know it's in your head, don't you? And I was like, yeah, no, I get that part. I get, it's in my head, but it's causing real pain. He was like, but if you know that it's in your head, then you know intellectually, at least, bare minimum, you know that you have nothing to actually fear. He was like, so allow it to devour you. See what it can do. See what it can do. So I was not excited on the drive home. I used to ride. He used to give me a ride back because I didn't have a car. It's grad school. And so as we sitting here bumping around in his truck, you know what I'm saying? I'm like excited to get back and get in the chair again and turn off all the lights and have the dragon show up again. But I knew it was important to be brave. I knew it was important to not run away from this. There was nobody else in my life that I could call. I couldn't even call Felicity. We were together at that point, but we might not have been together for long if I had started calling her and been like, there was a dragon in my room and this, that, you know what I'm saying? She might have been like, mm-hmm. It was the first time that I was encountering anything like this. And so I knew that when I went back to the apartment, it was my chance again to allow this dragon to at least sit and one, see if it shows up again. And if it does, then to summon the courage to actually abide in that chair, to sit with the fear, even as it manifests in physical pain. I understand it's just merely a psychological illusion, but it is manifesting physical pain. And so it's like, okay, let's actually abide in this. Let's sit in this and be brave. Do your best to be brave. And so I get back, and when it comes time to actually get in the meditation chair, my whole idea was what I was really looking for was that ability to master the mind, to master my mind, to master my emotions. I wanted to get and pierce through the illusion of the self. And I knew that there would be these dragons to slay, figuratively, but in this case, it was a little bit more than just figurative. I knew that in order to pierce through the fragile human psyche and to get to the deepest levels and layers of myself, I would need to face whatever comes up. If I run away from it, if I just try and get to a lesser form of meditation, if I just try and go do so, I'm gonna just do yoga. You know what I'm saying? Like if I just try and do something else and I pivot, then I miss the opportunity to see what's really here. So I get back and it's time, 10 p.m. It's dark outside, all my work is done. Flick off the lights. I get in my chair. I still got the chair. But I'm sitting in this chair, close my eyes, and then we're going deeply, deeply within, into the belly, into the lower dantian, just as we did a few weeks ago, you and I. And at first, everything's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's just belly breathing. It's just all normal. And then the footsteps start. And there's that breathing again. And that heat again. Ooh, and this time it's in my face. It's not behind me threatening me with something I can't see. It's like if I open my eyes, I'm going to see the physical manifestation of this baddie, this monster, this dragon. I keep my eyes closed though, I know that. But that heat, I start feeling this heat. And the desire to get up once again and go hit the light is there. But in this case, the dragon is actually blocking my path to the light. So it's like, okay, well, now you have even more reason to just sit here and abide. And so as I'm sitting and this dragon's starting to light my legs up, it's starting to get close. I'm starting to be able to smell like actual breath, like something that is like animal. And it's got this sulfuric heat to it. Naturally, my heart is beating. I'm sweating because it's hot. And I'm replaying in my mind the teacher just saying, stay with this, stay with this, let it devour you, let it devour you. And as I'm sitting there, I can feel this dragon's mouth beginning to open. I can only imagine what the teeth were like. And that little space, that gap that happens, that you notice the difference in atmospheric pressure when something massive begins to create an opening. It begins to open its mouth. You can feel that mouth opening, right? Like it's like, ooh. And it was as if at any moment this thing was going to clamp down on me. And so I was like, okay, let it devour you. Let it devour you. Let it devour you. And at the height of my fear, as I was finally able to surrender to this thing and surrender to the situation, surrender to the moment, the temperature in the room just started to level off. The presence of the dragon remained, but the temperature in the room began to level off until it was as if I was just sitting with this dragon face to face. And whether it ate me or not, or somehow caused any more parapsychological pain or paraphysical pain, I I was ready to allow it to devour me. And the session went just as the session went. It was just a normal situation. The dragon did not disappear. It was still there, but it had lost its fire. And just sitting in the darkness of the room, it was like the dragon just became as consequential as a TV set, as dramatic as a ceiling fan. The point of that situation, what it showed me was that, yeah, Twin is saying your brain can't differentiate for sure. Like, that was a problem. But what I saw through that is that this thing that we call fear, it emerges from the deepest recesses of our own minds. And as such, it can commandeer, co opt, throw off our own highest intentions and distract us with imaginary demons, imaginary dragons. That's why tonight when we're working with Anya, we're working with this question of where does intention really come from? I want to get to the bottom of that question in our lab experiment tonight, because if I can understand where the source of intention is, and I can trace its path through my own energetic system, I can trace its path from the moment of having an intention to the moment of expressing that intention, then might I be able to, in extreme situations, when fear is present, when the deepest tremors of my own mind have been unleashed, the darkest demons of my own mind have been unleashed, can I hold to my highest intention in such a way that I navigate around the fear, move above the fear, transform through the fear? You understand? This is the point of our lab experiment. Anya was a micro example of what happens, how that deep psyche of fear, those deep demons of fear, those deep dragons can create enough distraction to the point where we start making up excuses. Oh yeah, I'm just trying to be perfect. I got to have it right. Or you know what? I'll get to this once my entire schedule is cleared. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to need the whole day. So let me just make sure I get done with everything else, and then maybe I can go do this thing that God said I should do. Now, keep in mind, when I say God, I'm not talking about a guy in the sky. I'm talking about true reality. I'm talking about oneness. I'm talking about the fundamental fabric of existence, being aligned with who and what we truly are and expressing ourselves as that. But you can only do that if you're honoring your highest intention. And you can only do that if you're not allowing fear to commandeer your highest good. That's why our conversation tonight and our research question tonight is so paramount. The question, of course, tonight is, where does intention really come from? We want to be able to track its source. How do I know where my intention is and where fear is? How can I? What I'm saying is, at a point, the two, when we've given over to fear, fear starts feeling like it's the intention. Fear starts feeling like it's the thing we want to do. Fear starts feeling like it's the thing that makes the most sense. But when we fall into that trap, we end up not doing the thing that we would choose to do were we given a menu of life's choices to pull from. Were Anya given a menu and they said, okay, hold on, you got this menu. One thing is, you said you want to write a screenplay. Option A is you write that screenplay. Option B is that you don't write that screenplay and blame perfectionism. And option C is, you forget that you even cared about writing a screenplay. Whatever. Like, no, no, no. She can tell in her heart of hearts that she's like, oh no, I really, I want to do this thing. I want to do this project. But then that fear starts coming in and starts trying to say, no, no, no. What you mean is option B or C. That's what you mean. Fear starts coming in and starts trying to bulldog, starts trying to bully you into position. And so when we're asking our question, where does intention really come from? We're really looking to discover Where is my voice? Truly. The one that is pure and untainted by fear, where is that? I want to know what that is. Because if I'm listening to that, then I need not be worried by any thoughts to the contrary, any situations and circumstances that otherwise seem threatening. I need not be worried by those. But if I lose my way, if I lose what I actually am interested in, if I lose my own self-understanding of what it is that I am here to do, if I lose my own understanding of what God wants me to do, because I've been tainted by the dragon of fear, that's a beautiful way to lose your way for a lifetime and not even realize it. Because the fear will masquerade as logic. Anya could easily go home and say, man, how many people you know done sold a screenplay? One, two? If you're lucky, why you? How many people you know done did? How many? You know what I'm saying? It'll masquerade as logic. Start trying to run statistics and probabilities as if any of that really mattered, as if a probability should make the difference between doing what I love to do and not. So I just wanted to draw that out. I just wanted to help you understand that why are we asking this question of where does intention really come from? It's because we're looking to identify the source of our own willpower, what you might call our own true voice, versus the voice of fear, versus those behaviors that are birthed from fear. We want to be able to see and track the difference. Tonight, I'm saying that we can only do that if we are understanding where the source of our intention is in the first place. What is the source of intention? So let's get to our actual experiment tonight. We're about to head into the Conscious Transformation Laboratory. Our research question tonight is simple. Where does intention really come from? And perhaps a second question is, what even is intention in the first place? We want to understand these. And tonight's experiment is designed or is intended to allow us to interrogate these questions and find our own answers, the kinds of answers that you can't just get out of a book, the kinds of answers that must be experienced. You can't just chat GPT this. Claude ain't got nothing for you with this. We have to go to experiential understanding. We must find the source and allow whatever else wishes to reveal itself to us. Folks, it's at this time that it is wise to find a comfortable place to enter our laboratory. We call it the Conscious Transformation Laboratory because in it, we're going to use conscious transformation technologies, tools that allow us to look at reality anew, and allow it to speak to us, to teach us what it needs to. The shorter way of saying that is we go into the laboratory so that we can hear God speak to us. If you have a comfortable chair, you are seated in it, feet firmly planted on the floor. You can imagine a invisible string coming from the top, coming from the ceiling and attaching down into the crown of your head. And just imagine as you're sitting that your entire body is hanging from that string attached to the crown of your head, that string that's coming down from the ceiling. What this does is it straightens your back, it keeps your spine erect, and allows for a cleaner and healthier flow of circulation, of oxygen, and of energy through the nervous system. Also, this week, I want you to put the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth, even as you have and keep your mouth closed. This is a little trick that connects the circuitry of your brain, neck, and spine with the rest of your body. This technique comes from the Taoists. It's very helpful. If you are standing, still imagine that string attached to the crown of your head. It is holding your body up, keeping your spine erect. Your feet are shoulder width apart. Your hips are tucked in slightly. Tongue on the tip, tongue tip on the roof of your mouth. If you are laying flat on your back with the nut of your head tilted slightly upward, chin tilted slightly upward. At this time, let's enter the laboratory. Take one deep breath in with me. Inhale. Exhale. Take another deep breath in with me. Inhale. Exhale. You may close your eyes. And for a moment, simply expand your awareness into your belly. And watch oxygen, air move in through your nostrils, down into your belly, and expand the belly in all four directions at once. You inhale, the belly expands. You exhale, you inhale, the belly expands. You exhale. Stay with this breathing. Stay watching your belly expand with each inhalation, and watch the air move out of your nostrils again with each exhalation. If thoughts appear to you, simply observe the thought and allow the thought to pass as if the thought were a cloud passing through the sky. And return to your breathing. Inhale, filling the belly in all four directions. Exhale, watching the air move out your nostrils. Notice at this moment the very intention to inhale. Notice the very intention to be aware of what is happening inside of your belly. Simply notice intention as if intention were a force operating within you. See if you can find it by simply seeing if you can sense it. Inhale. Air fills the belly in all four directions. Exhale. Watching air move out the nostrils. See if you can sense your own intention as you maintain awareness inside of your belly, watching your body breathe. Notice the intention that makes this breathing, this awareness possible. Notice the intention it takes to maintain your attention inside of the belly, watching air expand the belly on every inhale and watching air leave the nostrils on every exhale. Notice the intention that is required for you to maintain attention in your belly. Now, can you notice when your intention wanes? Can you notice when your intention expands? See if you can identify the intensity of your intention itself. What do you notice about intention itself? In a moment, you are going to reach out your hand and pick up any item that you intend. But as you do, you will pay attention to the very act of intention. You will pay attention to the very act of intending. On a count of three, you will open your eyes, direct your intention to any object in your environment, and you will witness the process of selecting an object, reaching out, picking it up, and holding it in your hands. You will recognize the process of intending to reach out, select an object, pick it up, and hold it in your hands. What's important is that you maintain attention on your own intention. See if you can feel yourself intending as you open your eyes and reach out and pick an object and hold it in your hands. On the count of 3, you will begin this process. At this time, get in touch with your own intention. Prepare it for selecting an object in your environment. And see if you can feel intention, how it behaves as you do. On our 3 count, you will open your eyes, staying in touch with your own intention, and you will watch that intention select an object. You will watch that intention stretch out your arm to grab that object, and you will watch your intention wrap your fingers around the object and hold it in your hands. 1, 2, 3. You may open your eyes. Witness intention in operation. On the count of 3, you will return the object to its resting place. Follow your intention. Stay in touch with your intention, with your entire body. As you return the object to its resting place, and close your eyes once more. 1, 2, 3. Staying in touch with the intention that makes all movement possible. Return back to your starting position, your resting position. Set your object down and close your eyes once more. At this time, what did you notice? Could you feel intention activating in order to reach out Pick up an external object of your choosing. Hold it in your hands. Then set it down again. Feel the intensity of your intention. Where do you feel intention happening in your body? Go to that place now. Go to the place within your body where you feel intention arise from. See if you can find it. Expanding your awareness throughout your entire body until you can feel where intention itself arises. Do you feel it in the solar plexus? The space just beneath the sternum, but above the belly. Do you feel it in your heart? Where do you feel intention? Find out now. Go to that place. And simply observe how intention comes in and out of your experience. When intention comes into your experience, where does it come from? When the feeling of intention goes out of your experience, where does it go to? Rest with this question. Simply sit with this question. Abide with this question. Where is the source of your intention within your own body? See if you can feel it. If it helps, choose your next thought, intend your next thought, and see if you can be aware of the entire process of calling forth intention, selecting any thought you choose, and watching that thought play out in your mind. At this time, choose any thought, any image of a vacation, any memory from your past, any favorite moment, and watch your intention activate in order to make that thought possible. Do so now. Excellent. Seeing that thought, being witness to your own intention, conjuring that thought for you now, having witnessed the process, ask yourself, where does intention itself come from? Let the answer reveal itself. When thoughts of confusion come, simply allow the thoughts to appear and pass like clouds passing through the sky. And simply return back to the source of intention, the very place where you feel it arising in your body. Now, if you had to say, what is intention in your experience? That is all for today. Bring your attention back to the darkness behind your eyes, to the breath going in and filling your belly in all four directions on your inhale and leaving the nostrils on your exhale. Come back to center. Take one deep inhale with me. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. When you're ready, you may open your eyes. Hmm. Okay, folks. That one was different for me. I kind of come out of that with more questions in some ways, but the kind of questions that can't be answered rationally. Like I'm super curious as to what your experience was, but for me, I'm kind of like when I do these, my goal is to get out of the way and allow for a higher frequency to move through me, and it chooses the words. But tonight, I don't know. I mean, that was I'm still a little like, man, what was I supposed to like so here's what I got out of it. I'm like, I started feeling where intention was coming from. For me, it was coming from like right here. I started feeling where the very act of intending was coming from, where the very felt sensation of intention was coming from. And it seemed like it was coming from just like the solar plexus for me, like that space just beyond the hardness of the sternum. And when you get into that fleshy tissue, that's where I felt that's where I felt the intention arising. And even as I went and picked up something, I could feel intention being the catalyst, and then the body simply follows and it picks up the thing. It does the thing. It moves. It does whatever the intention had set. Hmm. So then what came through was, okay, what would you say this intention even is? That part really kind of got me. I was kind of split between trying to intellectually rationalize in the middle of a meditation, which is not where I necessarily want to be, but at the same time, it's an interesting enough question to be like, wait a minute, I've never looked in this way. So I can feel where intention is arising, but intention feels so, it feels like, frankly, it feels like it's coming from another dimension. It feels like it's coming from much like a thought. It feels like something that doesn't wholly originate just with the so-called individual. So last week we were seeing that thoughts themselves was about to be an interesting one tonight. You know what I'm saying? I have no answers. Last week we saw that thoughts themselves, and it was so sublime to understand that thoughts themselves there's no thinker, but thoughts are extensions of the frequency that we are currently operating in. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I mean, my intention be as well. That's what I started feeling, is that intention is operating similarly to thought. Oh, that's interesting. That was the feeling, but only in saying it out loud is it like, oh, hold on. I'm not ready for no principal pattern and path yet. Like I'm still trying to process this. It's like I could feel where the intention was, and particularly when I started choosing the thought, when I had to choose my next thought intentionally and maintain awareness on the very process of intentionally choosing something. For me, I just chose a sunny day, a sunny, sunny beach sort of view. I just held that image, but it was just summoned. It was just summoned quickly. The gap in time between. Oh, it's interesting. Yeah, hold on, because I'm also like, I felt the intention arise, and then the thought simply appeared. I I have now come across and now have created a subtle fiction that I was the one doing the choosing. But the reality is that the intention arose, and I watched it select a thought, just pull a thought from somewhere, from wherever thoughts come from. You feel me? And I just had this sunny beach. It honestly could have been a painting. I don't even know if it was. It wasn't like a memory, or it could have been. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't as if I chose from a menu. It was just that there was the intention and then the thought. Like someone says, okay, what would you choose to think right now if you could choose anything? And I was just, okay, I just got a sunny beach. But it's not as if I ran through options. There wasn't like a quantifiable event of trying to Rolodex through thoughts. It was literally, I have this intention and then the thought appears. And that's the one that I then say, oh, this was my choice. There's something that seems a little off about that because it wasn't a wholly rational process, mainly because I didn't select from a menu of options. I didn't really choose. It merely appeared. And then the intention basically asks me to think about, hey, does this resonate or no? The frequency, like, does this resonate? I could have switched it out, I could have swapped it out with anything else, but there was that sense that okay, this intention has birthed this image in the mind, and that image did not violate any of my rules, any of my sensibilities. It didn't violate any. It was just fine as it was. Had it been a darker image, I might have been like, oh no, I kind of don't want this one. Give me something better. Now I'm thinking, now I'm cogitating. Now there's these associational thoughts that begin to say, oh no, I have a preference here and I don't choose that thought. I choose this other one. I don't like this other thing. I like this other thing. But it's interesting that I'm noticing that I'm not ever choosing my thoughts with pinpoint precision. I'm merely intending a certain mood, a certain a mood is a good way to say it. Because you could also say frequency. I'm simply intending a certain vibrational pattern, and it's almost like the thought summons in order to match that pattern. Hmm. This is interesting. We typically don't do this type of work, or rather, this is just an interesting idea. I'm never choosing my thoughts with pinpoint precision. I'm not scanning a Rolodex of ideas in order to select which one I want. That is not how intention works. The thought that comes to me, I only later say, I retroactively say, oh yeah, this was one that I picked. But it's more like this was the thought that was birthed in this moment. This was the thought that was simply that simply appeared in this moment. And having had it appear, now we can, think in other sorts of ways about what to do with it. But I'm not selecting. I'm not pinpointing. When I noticed that attention was in the belly and it was watching oxygen, it was watching air move into my belly, it took intention in order to maintain that attention. Otherwise, my attention would drift. I had to intend in order to attend to the oxygen flowing into my stomach. I saw that. I felt that. So we're getting to this place where it's like, yes, I can intend, but I don't necessarily know how. It's like okay, you have willpower, you have free will, but do you know how you have free will? Do you choose that? Do you know how you will? Do you know how you intend? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's intention for show, but then it's like I don't necessarily, I'm not the one like choosing the intention. You dig what I'm saying? I'm not like intending to intend. And even if I intend to intend, I don't intend to intend to intend. You know what I'm saying? Like there's one step, just one step removed, where at some point it's just attention is. At some point, attention is. Okay, 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 okay. All right. So William Howard in the room. What's happening? What's happening? Welcome in, William. Okay, Jovan is in the room. Welcome in, welcome in. Okay, Jovan in the building. Yeah, I mean, look. I hope y'all don't think I'm on one. I'm really trying to get to the bottom of this. Like it's like, okay, I got this intention. I can sense the intention, and I can sense that intention and attention go together. There's a symmetry. Like I have to intend in order to attend. I don't think we're gonna get to the bottom of this tonight. I don't think we're gonna get to the bottom of this tonight. It's about to be the first episode where we don't have a principal pattern to path. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I really don't know. Because again, I got this sense. Look, I can't hold you on this episode. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta go do what you gotta go do. But like I'm about to sit here and really parse this because I'm like, hold on. I can sense and feel where intention arises. I can even feel its intensity, right? When my intention is focused and directed, and when it's more subdued and withdrawn, laid back, when there's a state of openness and when there's a state of clear focus, when there's a state of openness and when there's a state of clear choosing. But I don't know from where that intention arises. I don't know where intention itself arises from experientially. Yes, I understand that somebody could say, well, actually, it's a neurochemical phenomenon. You know what I'm saying? But that's not in our experience. I'm talking about a phenomenological approach to reality. I want to experience this because at the end of the day, my experience is what defines my life. You understand? So I want to get to a sense of what is my intention and what is merely a reaction. The beauty is, I did feel where intention arises inside of me. That is true. I can't actually locate it corporally inside of the body. I can feel it. It's kind of like them top abs, you know what I'm saying? The top joints that are kind of smaller than the top, you know what I'm saying? Like the small joints. That solar plexus, that's really where I'm feeling intention arise from. So that's helpful because that means that anxiety I typically feel inside of the neck. And so it's kind of like, ooh, well, are you listening to the energy that's arising up here, or are you listening to the energy that's here? I like that. I like that. I can work with that. I can work with that because then we'll have to actually test that out, prove that out. You dig what I'm saying? Like I'll actually need to be in a situation where it's like, hold on, can I feel what this is here? Where my intention is, or so-called my twin saying, I truly believe every thought is a download, which is why we say everything around was once a thought, but where did that intention come from? But where did that intention come from? He says, breakthrough turtle coming through. I don't know. He gonna have a reason tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, breakthrough turtle about to be like, hey, bro, I can't come through if you don't know what you talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really trying to get to the bottom of this. Like, I can sense intention, but I can't sense where intention. I can feel where it arises. In other words, if intention were a cosmic force, I can feel the site of intervention. I can feel the place where it operates through the human organism, but I cannot tell you where intention. I can't tell you where. I'm actually trying to look for the words. It's like I'm trying to tell you. I can tell you where it comes from. I can tell you where I feel it, but I can't tell you. I can't really tell you what it is. I can tell you what it does. It helps you choose some stuff. It does it. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you that stuff. I can tell you what it does, but to tell you what it is, I don't have an answer for that tonight. That was not revealed to me tonight. I don't know. I can tell you what it does, and I can tell you where I feel it doing what it does, which is helpful because just that alone allows me to understand, okay, well, intention I feel flowing from here. I don't feel fear flowing from here. I feel, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel fear comes from some other sort of deal. But you hear people talking about setting their intention. But do you know how you set it? Like you can amplify it, you can hyper focus, you can basically use it, you can intend, you can choose. But do you know how you choose? I hope this is making sense. Like, what's the origin point, the place just before choice? Like, you don't choose to choose. You don't intend to intend. You know what I'm saying? Intention simply exists. You don't intend to intend to intend. You feel me? And so we could talk about, it coming from these extra dimensions and all of this stuff, and that's cool. You could even explore that with deeper levels of meditation. That's cool. But just in terms of our primary experience, where does intention really come from tonight? Is the question. Mm-hmm. Can't answer that. I can only tell you where I feel it arising in my body. And I can only tell you that it resonates with the frequency that I'm at. Right? If I'm operating in a state of love, if I'm operating in a state of peace, my intentions tend to correspond. And it is raining out here. That sounds like it's rain. If this broadcast gets cut off, then you know what I'm saying? That's clearly God's intention. You know what I'm saying? But that's wild. Yeah. I can't, it's an unanswerable question. I cannot tell you what the source of intention is beyond understanding where the source of all things is. Like we understand that intention arises in consciousness. I can say that consciousness is the source for sure, but I can't quite need to do any better than that. Last week, we did not find a thinker when we searched for the thinker. We saw frequency begetting thoughts. This week, it feels like I'm seeing frequency begetting intention, except that I'm also getting a sense of the place where the energy of intention emanates from. I'm feeling that for the first time. I've never done this exercise before. I've never done this experiment before. So part of me is like, okay, we continue on with the principal pattern in the path, and the other part of me is like, I don't know what you're about to say. What you? Mm-hmm. Oh shoot, it's a nice cook. I don't know. mm. The benefit is that yes, feeling this sight, but I'm kind of like you know what I'm saying? Like we say, okay, where does intention originate from? I cannot answer that in the cosmic or the absolute. I can only say that where I feel it inside of my own body. I can only say where I feel it, where I can feel intention entering this dimension, if you say, or entering my experience, if you will. It's like you have intention, but did you intend to have intention? You know what I'm saying? Like you're just simply born with it. It simply is. You didn't intend to have intention. You didn't choose to have intention. It simply came with the experience of being human. That's a part of what I'm saying tonight. Is that the joint just came with it. You feel me? And so it's kind of like I don't think we can answer this. I cannot answer this in the absolute tonight. That is not about to happen. Let's leave that and table that. If there is any conversation or rescue, it's about what do we do now that we can sense. First of all, let me ask you, could you sense, you know what I'm saying? Like, were you able to kind of keep track and watch where intention was flowing from? Could y'all sense where it was in your body? Put that in the chat. Yeah, twin saying, right, because someone will say I didn't intend to hurt you, right? They will say I didn't intend to hurt you. But in that moment, is that true? You know what I'm saying? In the moment of actually hurting someone, is that true? This is something that's going to take more than an evening. This is going to take a minute of observations. I ain't got nothing for you, champ, tonight. I would do a principal pattern in the path, but I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just too I'm not getting that signal. I'm not getting that signal. I'm getting a signal to be like, hey bro, why don't you go ahead and wrap this up? Breakthrough Turtle. Oh, hold on. He just got a text. He said he ain't coming through this week. Oh damn. Did y'all feel it? Did y'all feel it in your bodies? You know what I'm saying? Like, let me ask you that at least. Okay, Twin saying, yeah, I kept feeling that it was coming from this blank slate. I don't know what that means. Other twin saying, not all the way. But but Twin, you do know that you can intend things. Like, okay, I have my hands up. I'm going to pick up my phone right now, and I want to be aware of my intention that is causing my body to activate my physical muscles in my arm, close my fingers around this phone, pick it up and show it to you, right? I want to be paying attention the entire time. Here we go. It's something so simple, and I still feel it firing here. I feel it firing here, and it's super subtle. That's just where I feel it. And so it's kind of like, okay, well, if you're listening to the voice of fear versus the voice of what is your actual true intention, I have a place to start, and I'm grateful for that tonight, but I still don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I don't know. And I probably lost some folks along the way here. Our original question tonight is, where does intention come from? We just went into an experiment, and tonight we're coming back with some answers that don't have no answers. Well, kind of like, you know what I'm saying? We're kind of coming with me personally, I'm feeling that yes, I can feel this. I can feel where intention speaks through to my body, but I don't know what that means yet. And I cannot veritably tell you that there is a technology to use in this just yet. Can't do it tonight. Can't do it. Which means I need more time to actually operate and see, just to pay attention to this process. Pay attention to this process. If you're brand new here and you're like, man, what the hell is this dude talking about? Man, we're looking to get to the deepest recesses of our own psyches, and also get to the very nature of what existence is. And I have made a baby step today. You know what I'm saying? Like I did today. I wouldn't have. You said, hey, look, if you asked me this morning, hey, where do you feel intention arising in your body when you intend to do something? I'd have been like, what the hell are you talking about? What you mean? What you mean? But now I'm kind of like, oh no, it's right here. I can point to it. I feel it right there, right there. Yeah, that's where I feel intention moving. Oh, interesting. Okay, hold on. I just got hit with something. Like I always say that intention plus attention is that's what feeling is, which literally is what frequency is. When we talk about changing your frequency, we are talking about changing fundamentally your attention, what you're placing your attention on, and where you're placing your intention. Oh, hold on. Okay, so we're talking about fundamentally changing where you're placing your attention and placing your intention. This is how we do any type of healing. Attention and intention together, that constitutes feeling. Feeling determines frequency. There is effectively the exact same thing. That frequency determines conditions, circumstances, and the other things of your life. Perhaps we do have a principle. I'm not going to rush this, y'all. I'm not about to rush it. I'm not about to try and force nothing. I'm just saying that um, I'm just saying that to be able to feel intention, to be able to feel where its source is, requires an awareness. But to merge that source with that intention, I can feel where intention is originating. And when I marry it to attention, I beget a feeling, a sensation, a frequency. If you wanted to, let's say right now, you're not thinking about your left toe, your left big toe, but now you are. Put your feeling into that left big toe, and you'll see that, oh, wait, I have to put my intention into the toe. Then I have to put my attention into the toe. And when I do this, the very act of sensing or sensation becomes more prominent, it becomes available. I can feel into my own foot, even as I sit here and speak to you. And the real key is that eventually you'll be able to feel energy flow. Where attention and intention go, energy also must flow. This is what we call frequency. I'm not forcing nothing tonight, Joe. You know what I'm saying? I can't even hold you. I can't. This is it's actually. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Can't hold you. I can see the value of understanding where intention flows from, but where I can't quite go is understanding how do we bring this technology to bear on yeah, how do we bring this insight to bear on our true challenges? Ooh, okay. So Twin saying, no, I don't believe that's intention. I believe that it's instructions using an instrument of the body. And I could be very wrong. Intention is something else, something deliberate. Desire, attention, intention, frequency. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Desire, attention, intention. I feel like intention has the desire kind of already baked inside of it. Like whatever you're intending to do, the direction is already set. Mm. Mm. I don't know. Ain't no point sitting here forcing this. Ain't no point forcing it. What I say? I think if there's anything to pull out of tonight's conversation, let me just let me wrap this up before somebody's like, "Oh, I'm about to unsubscribe." I think if there's anything to pull out of tonight's conversation, for me, it is that intention can be felt, that I can bring an active process of witnessing intention operate within me, which means I can begin to bifurcate, to split the attention that I was primarily giving over to fear and begin instead to allow that intention to abide in this other place for me, just above, just in the solar plexus, and to listen for the source of my own will there. You dig what I'm saying? I want to listen for what am I actually interested in right in the solar plexus. The ability to understand where intention moves through my body will be helpful for splitting off from where I feel fear operating in my body. So I literally get a choice of which voice in the body I want to listen to. William's saying intention and untention is a POV, it's a point of view for me. And what and how can we build upon that? Hmm. I got no answers tonight. I don't know. I'm really like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to, I feel like if I were trying to give you something tonight, I would be trying to force a conclusion before one is truly ready. And I don't do that. I'm not about to play on here. But I do know that something has like there's been some sort of there's been an identifier, a place where we can use the body as a map. The idea that we can use the body as a map and a signal, allowing fear to be a signal and also allowing these other energy centers to be a signal. Because I don't feel fear speaking through the solar plexus. I feel that somewhere else. But intention, I feel that, and it feels like it's coming out of nowhere. When intention arises, it feels like it's coming out of nowhere. It feels like it's simply just like a thought, just like you having a thought. If you were to observe your thoughts for a long time, it's like it's not like I feel them moving from the right side of my head to the left. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it just appears. Intention being the exact same way. This is something I have to sit with. Intention being the exact same way. Which tells me what? It tells me that it is not a human choice. There is not an intender. You dig what I'm saying? It's not a human choice. It's something beyond that. And if like thoughts, it is frequency based, which of course it is. Like we know that, but I have to experience it. If it's frequency based, then we birth a sort of, then our intentions are made anew every time that we intend, which means choices we didn't think were possible now become possible. Selections and options we didn't think were possible now become possible. If indeed it is frequency based, I got to sit with that. That's going to be some time. Okay, Twin saying, hell yeah, let's scratch that surface together. Well, we all appreciate your energy today. You must know. Oh man, um, Twin saying, I don't blame you sincerely. Okay, I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm kind of like, oh, shoot, I ain't never met this version of Dr. Shawn. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I've never not known, never know. That's what happens if we ask a real ass question. That's kind of like, does this make sense? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we ask a question, we go inside, we explore it. It's true that the answers do not just come on one night. Especially when you start getting into the fringes. This is one of those conversations that you almost think is not necessary. Like right now, I'm kind of like, well, shoot, I don't have to think about this. Ultimately, I know it's going to lead me back to love somehow. But I'd be lying to you if I was like, oh, I know exactly how. You know, I don't know. I don't know. It hasn't revealed itself tonight. So Tanya's saying, come into the realization of what exactly you want in your life without letting others push their thoughts or beliefs. This leads to the intention of change, a desire for something bigger and better. Now, okay, Tanya. Okay, something just okay. I was just about to, call it a night. You know what I'm saying? If fear's our only enemy, you know what I'm saying? I was about to get up out of here. But now, hold on. You're saying come into the realization of what exactly you want in your life without letting others push their thoughts. But what if the body was a map for that? What if the body was your signal for that? You ever heard people say, listen to your gut feeling? Listen to that solar plexus feeling? Okay. If I were doing that, might I be able to come to the realization of what exactly I am interested in this moment, in this very moment? Where is my intention actually? You ever been in a relationship with somebody and things are just like going awfully and you're blaming them, but you're not thinking about how you are holding your own energy in a space with them? Being able to check and find out, wait, where is that intention for real? The benefit of tonight is that I can actually feel where that joint is. I can feel where that signal is coming from. Experientially, phenomenologically. It's not something I can get from a book, which means what? I'm able to gather data faster because I can sense where the inputs are coming from. You dig what I'm saying? Oh, interesting. Which means that even in this moment of slight confusion for me, I can pay attention to this intention. What am I intending in this moment? Am I intending truth? Or am I just looking for an answer? Ooh, shit. Oh, man. What? Look at God. Mm. It's like, I can feel intention operating through me. And sometimes I bend that intention toward satisfying a condition that was fear based rather than satisfying the ultimate condition of truth, right? Fear based satisfaction would be, oh, let's get to a clean and clever answer for tonight so that people come back and watch the show again and my channel will grow. But But the intention to actually just commit to the truth of whatever is here right now, these are different intentions. It's almost like the arrow of intention can be directed out toward fear or it can be directed out toward truth. It can be directed out toward anxiety and worry or it can be directed out toward the absolute, toward what is relevant in this moment. But the intention, its path, its initial starting point is in the same, it's in the same place for me. I can feel it happening in the same spot. So really when I'm able to identify the location of intention, it helps me understand the direction of intention. It does not stop or preclude that intention from being manipulated by fear or being directed toward fear, but it does allow me to observe its origin point and observe, ask the question, what do I intend right now? And observe where I'm giving that intention to, where that intention is being directed, where the where the arrow of intention is being pointed toward, which allows me to not just set my intention, but reset my intention. I was thinking that intention was like a voice that, oh, well, this is my actual true intention, and then here's fear over here. It's more like you can intend to do some foul stuff. You dig what I'm saying? You can intend to do some foolishness. But if I can trace back at least the origin point. Tonight's question was, where does intention really come from? I can't answer that in the cosmic. I don't know. I can't answer that in the absolute terms. I don't know. It comes from God like everything else. It comes from consciousness like everything else. You know what I'm saying? I can get you that far. It comes from awareness like everything else. I can get you that far. But beyond that, I don't know. I don't know. But if we ask that more locally and we say, okay, where does intention come from? I say, okay, well, I can feel it happening in the solar plexus. I can feel it. That's where I feel it originating in the body. That's where I feel it originating. Then the next real question is, okay, well, in what way are you intending right now? This energy that is moving through that you call intention, in what way is it being directed right now? And in the subtlest of ways, it's like, oh, wait, I was formerly directing this toward a spirit of fear, but actually, I really want to be in this consciousness of truth. The question is, what are you intending right now? How do you intend in this moment? How are you directing this energy in this moment? I could see that, for a moment I was like, okay, well, I intend to finish the show and do it, you know what I'm saying? Da, da, da. But what if by sensing this origination point, I can reset the intention and say, you know what, actually, I just intend to say the truth. And even if my long-term commitment is always toward truth, it's like that's very fine and fantastic. But what about in this moment? What about right now? Can I reset my intention on truth? Where I formerly thought that that's what I was doing. It's like, hold on. Trace the intention back and just ask yourself the question, where is my intention going right now? What do I intend in this moment? In other words, I'm going to be responsible. I want to be observant of my own intentional energy. I want to be observant of how I am directing my own willpower in this moment, how I'm directing my own focus in this moment. Okay. Hmm. I keep touching this drum. So y'all can see up in this mud. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to pull a shirt up or nothing, but like, yeah. Attention. Like, if I can trace its origin point and I can ask myself the question, what do you actually intend in this moment? Are you intending, when I ask myself, what am I intending in this moment? I can kind of see it. I can kind of see if my joint is leaned over toward the point of fear or some other aberration, some other iteration of fear, and as opposed to being directed in a new direction. I still don't know if I'm comfortable giving a principle, a pattern, and a path, but I'm closer than I was 10 minutes ago. Because there's something about that. There's something about being able to sense and interrogate your own intention in this moment. What is your intention in this moment? Tracing the source of intention, I find that I'm able to see what my intention actually is in this moment. So that when I ask myself the question, what is my intention in this moment? I know if it's bent toward fear. I know if it's bent toward anxiety. I know if it's bent toward truth. If I could ask a follow-up question, what is the highest intention I could have in this moment? Okay, you already know. I said, what is the highest intention I could have in this moment? You already know. You already know. The highest intention I could have in this moment is love. That's immediately. That is the truth of this moment. So I asked myself the first question, what is my intention? Let's rewind. We went into our experiment, our laboratory tonight. I saw, I don't know what y'all talking about. I saw in myself that intention speaks through my body in the solar plexus. I also saw that intention is not an ever present true voice. It's more like an energy that can be directed toward nonsense or directed toward the truth. I saw that if I can bring myself to this origin point and I can ask myself one question, which is, what am I intending in this moment? What is my actual intention in this moment? The other way of saying that is, what am I doing with the energy of intention in this moment? The second question, of course, being, if I could choose anything, what is the highest intention I could have in this moment? And now the intention moves. Oh, I just felt that. Now the intention moves. Okay, I'm gonna get just a little bit. Now the intention moves from here up into the actual heart. It goes from being intentional to being loving. I can feel that love component now. There is no other intention for me like that. You say, what's the highest intention? That the higher reprogramming question reprograms me to say, okay, wait. Let's get reset. What's the highest intention I can have right now? It's love. Can I love you enough to tell you the truth right now? Can I love me enough to be gentle with myself as I work through some stuff that I ain't never did before? I just noticed that by the time the energy reaches the heart and that love comes forward, fear doesn't stand a chance. The fear goes away. Ooh, yeah, I can feel that. Yes, right. Felicity's saying you feel the intention before you can think it. Right. You feel the intention before you can think it. But if I can trace that source, if I can use the body as my signal to come back and say, okay, Where is this energy being directed in this moment? And what would be the highest use of this energy if I could choose? And that intention immediately goes from the solar plexus and it goes right into the heart. It seeks love as its source. Oh shit. I mean, tonight is too much, man. So like, I'm like, hold on. Right, right. I can sense the moment I say, what is the highest intention that I can hold? Intention elevates and goes into the chest area. I feel it go into what's called the middle dantian, and it becomes this higher elixir. It becomes like it reveals itself in its true form. It like goes to its how do I say this? Um, it upgrades to premium. It goes to its its highest position, which is the position of love. It goes to its highest position, which is the position of love. And at that point, it's a wrap on whatever other lower energies were proliferating. You know what I'm saying? It's a wrap on that. It's just as love. Hmm. Tonight's question was where does intention really come from? And I don't know if I can answer that, but I can answer where it goes when it's expressed in its highest capacity. And I can tell you that it goes from here for me all the way up into the heart. It goes, in other words, if I were to represent that absent the body, I would say it goes from its highest expression, the highest level of intention that I can have in this moment is the intention is actually just love. It's a to hold love requires it just requires the highest intention. When I say highest, I mean like an elevated, a purer intention. And it's almost as if love sucks all of there's no more space involved for lesser energies like fear, like doubt, like avoidance, masquerading as perfectionism. We just come back to this energy. So, not necessarily about where intention comes from, what's its source, but I know where it goes to when it's elevated to its highest expression. Mm, mm. There's a principle, a pattern, a path in here somewhere. I just don't know if I need to formalize it tonight. Like somewhere in all of that, there is a massive lesson. Mm. And again, that's helpful. Yeah. And again, I come back, I'm like, okay, what am I like? Really deciding, am I about to pull out the breakthrough board and do what we typically do or not? And it's like, hold on, let's go to the intention. What am I intending in this moment? Now, what would my highest intention be if I could choose anything? It's like, oh my gosh, it's like I never had asthma before, but like I imagine somebody who's having an asthma attack when they get on that inhaler, I imagine how that feeling of opening your lungs back up that you do, where you just feel life pouring back into you. That's got to be as close as I can tell you I feel when I tap back into that universal energy source of love. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the exact thing I feel, is that it's just that opening. It's literally like that. Like love becomes the inhaler. You know what I'm saying? And now it's, oh shoot, oh shoot. Okay, right. And maybe that's why we have to end our show differently than we typically do. Typically, we come through with the principle, the pattern, the path. I love to teach from principle. But tonight, I think, was special in its own right. It was special in its own season, in its own way. And my God, Tanya, thank you for coming through. Twin, thank you for coming through. William, thank you for coming through. That Tanya, she brought that, just a little bit of that thing that got me thinking in a whole different way. I could do a principle, a pattern, and a path tonight, but man, I think tonight was special in its own way. I still came to a different sort of understanding, and I hope you did too. And it's not far from our premise of the evening, which is about understanding where the source of intention is, questioning whether or not that intention, how that intention is being utilized in this moment, and then following up and asking, wait, where's that highest intention? What would it look like if I were intending at the highest level possible? Intending, what could I do with my intention that would be intention's highest expression? When I ask that question, it goes immediately into love. Jovan, thank you for being here. Felicity, thank you for being here. I mean, yeah, let's call this an anomaly. Let's call this an anomaly. This is not usually how this show goes, but damn, I mean, sometimes it's gonna probably be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but still, I still feel like, yo, uh, I got something massively valuable out of tonight, different than what I thought, and yet much the same. You know. All right, y'all. Hey, yeah, man, this. Okay, so frequency over everything. So Felicity just texted me and said frequency over everything determines what you even bring your attention to. Right. Yeah. Right. So when we express intention at the highest level, we choose the highest frequency, which of course directs our attention in a new way and helps us see it new. Folks, if fear is our only enemy, okay, then we bring heaven to earth when we transform our minds. I'm Dr. Shawn, and we were not sent to impress our people. We were sent to transform our people into a light for the world. For God's universe opens to all who believe in breakthrough.